Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You are tuned into my weekly talk radio show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa every Tuesday at naturally high noon here at the Sunset Gower Studios in Hollywood, California with UBN Universal Broadcasting Network, and then every Thursday at 7, Saturday at 1 on my syndicated CNBC, NBC News radio channel, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, home of Dave Ramsey and Stephanie Miller and the Asian Oprah, and then nationally everywhere on iHeartRadio. And this is a show about hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal, even though it's taped at this lot, and no K-words, no Kardashian talk at all, because I want you to focus on your own reality show, your life, and how you can be happy 88% of the time. And that's why I have guests like last week we had Anson Williams from Happy Days here talking about how to reduce the risk of drowsy driving deaths. I've had Marianne from Gilligan's Island. I've had Layla Ali, daughter of Muhammad Ali, and plenty more. So if you've missed any of those shows about hope and happiness, please do go to my YouTube channel and hit the subscribe. It's free. And that way I can splatter you with more hope and happiness. And if you like, please do give me a thumbs up at my Facebook live fan page. And that way we can get more numbers, more sponsors, and keep the splattering going. And as per usual, I'm going to start with some peace in, peace out shout outs to all the beautiful people that I've met this week. First of all, we got to go to Tony's birthday party, our boss here at UBN, and it was a fabulous evening of karaoke and just happy birthday, dear Tony. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to our boss here at UBN. And, thank you, Chris. And then a shout out to all the beautiful people I met at the Agape 31-year anniversary celebration and getting some great interviews with the honorees, especially Reverend James Lawson, who's 89 and still strong, carrying on Dr. Martin Luther King's message. I had no idea. Basically, he carried on. As he was there, he met the call of Dr. King when he asked him to drop his graduate studies and go join him. He organized that whole lunch counter segregation event that took months to prepare for, so that the people would just take the spilling of coffee and the spitting on without reacting in the spirit of nonviolence. He will be teaching at UCLA next year. He's 89 years old and just a wonder to interview. I felt very, very blessed to have been in his company and actually get a soundbite from him. Thank you to my film crew that worked with me, Sandra and Emmanuel, who did a fabulous job interviewing not just Dr. Lawson, but the other honorees. My favorite, who's a past guest on the show, was the Honorable Chairman from Los Angeles County, Mark Ridley Thomas, Cynthia Kiersey, the host who was Sterling Brown. Any of you that watch This Is Us will know him, 2-time Emmy Award, and he was fabulous too. And there was just a lot of wonderful things to celebrate my home, Agape, for 31 years. And of course, last but not least, my big brother, the founder, Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, who answered the call even though he wanted to keep his weekends, but followed his authentic calling to be the founder of this amazing place where I get my positive roots watered. So happy anniversary to Agape. And for me, today's show is a very special one as well. One of my favorite musical groups that I grew up listening to and singing along to as well, is Manhattan Transfer. And the Manhattan Transfer, for those of you who aren't familiar, is a jazz vocal group founded in 1969 that dominated the music charts for years over many different genres, including a cappella, which I call acapulco, Brazilian jazz, rhythm and blues, and pop. Award-winning jazz vocalist and founding member, renowned chef and author Erin Dickins has performed or recorded with many well-known artists, including James Taylor, Leonard Cohen, Talking Heads, Roberta Flack, Yoko Ono, and James Brown. As a solo artist, Dickins captivates audiences with a stunning voice and upbeat humor. Dickins is a noted style, literally adding a little sizzle to her swing, often performing gourmet concerts where she combines her toe-tapping tunes with mouth-watering morsels. Please welcome to my studio, Erin Dickins. Hi, Erin.
Hello, Doctor.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Are you cold?
How are you?
You're on the East Coast.
You've been hiding from me. You can sing.
Oh. Aw, thank you. Well, that was probably...
That was a very good happy birthday right there.
Thank you. I consider that a huge compliment. Yeah, the story is I'm a retired lounge lizard, and I actually had that fork in the road, get a PhD or go into music. And I actually had a 5-star interest in me who had Sade. And my father flew down from Canada and sat me down and said, "You're good, but you're not that good." and you've wanted to be a professor or have a PhD since the time you were 5. He was a professor, obviously, and you can do music anytime. So I would like you to return and finish out your PhD. And I'm grateful. I'm glad I did, because it is true. You can come back anytime. Look at you. Started in probably before 1969, and you're still doing it. And I get to, if you listen to the outro of the show at the end, and I have a couple songs on iTunes, you can still do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
And
I figure I'm going to give it 2 more years, and then the story's going to change.
Okay.
And we're going to tell people that my mom founded the Manhattan Transfer. I'm going to keep doing it till I'm 100.
And you should. And did you always know that you were musically going to have a musical profession?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew it really young. My dad was an amateur, but a really good pianist, and played banjo and got me a guitar when I was young. And I also was an equestrian, and I loved riding horses. And I used to go galloping up this big hill near the barn where I kept my horse, and I gallop up this field and this hill singing the sound of music until I got busted by my little friends. But, I loved it. And I'd sing in front of the mirror with a hairbrush for a microphone, age 5. So, yeah, it was always there.
You always knew. Did anyone ever tell you that you're good, you're not that good, and maybe you should get a real job?
No. My parents were extremely supportive. I, like you, had another interest aside from, food and stuff. I thought I'd be a good lawyer. I always wanted to be a trial lawyer and stand up in court and try a tough case,
Right.
But music was just so seductive, and I always got good responses. But I think, in the 60s and early 70s, it was kind of, everybody just kind of thought you were a hippie, and I don't think there was any real consideration about, whether I was going to do it or not do it. I was going to college and, had my singing group, and,
right.
So I'm lucky that I kind of slipped through.
Yeah. Well, we're lucky too. And on that note, pun intended, I would like to play one of your songs from your current album, Vignettes. And that is the one you have a lot of collaborations on this particular CD, and the one that I liked was Which Way Steinway, partially because the song itself and because I play the piano, but also fascinating is the collaborator or the piano player is Jim Croce's son, AJ.
Yeah,
And for those of you who don't know, I can't imagine you not remembering Jim Croce, but Time in a Bottle, one of my favorite songs, and Bad Bad Leroy Brown. So without further ado.
And Don't Mess Around with Jim. Yeah.
And Don't Mess Around with Jim. All right. So here is
which. But before you go, I want to tell you, Jim and Ingrid Croce were very, very good friends of mine. And I knew AJ when he was in diapers.
Oh, how cute is that?
Is that so cool?
That is so cool.
You know, and to come full circle, it just melted my heart.
Oh, so what? When did he start playing? Early?
He started playing quite young. We knew them when he was a baby. They were living in Pennsylvania, and they'd come into New York and sleep on the sofas at one of our apartments. Jim hadn't made it yet. And we spent one very memorable weekend at their house when Manhattan Transfer was playing the main line, opening up for James Taylor. And we just hit it off so well, and we were singing and ending the show with James, and we went back to Jimmy Croce's house, and we would jam all day and then do a show and then jam all night, and it was so extraordinary. And little AJ was just a little tyke,
right.
But always a tremendous kid from day one, and an extraordinary musician. So I'm really blessed, and it just, his father would be so proud of him. It just makes me beam. It's just great.
That's it. And you, how did you invite him to do it? Did you get a picture of his reaction?
I just called him up, and I just called him up. Well, he knew me. I hadn't seen him in years, but they were living in San Diego after Jim died, and then Ingrid and AJ came out to see me when I was living in Honolulu and stayed with me for a week, and we had a lot of fun then. And so, always on the radar.
Yeah.
And I sent him a text and said, "Hey, AJ, I'm doing a CD. You want in?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, man."
Oh, that's so cool. That is so cool. All right.
So he wrote this tune and played all the instruments.
No, really? I didn't know that. I thought he was just accompanying you.
No.
He did more than that.
Well, yeah.
There's a shout out to AJ.
That was the idea with vignettes. Each guy was sort of an equal partner with me. And so this is AJ's song, and he played piano and bass and guitar, and worked with the arrangement with me, and we collaborated one-on-one, and this is what he brought me.
That's so cool. In 2020 hindsight, we could have had him call in, but anyways, we'll just promote him here. All right, here we go.
The other day when we spoke on the telephone, you said that you were leaving town. One thing I must know, darling, which way will you go? 'Cause I'm gonna pack my things and go along. If it's south way, I'll bring my whiskey. North way, wear a heavy coat. West way, I'll bring my cowboy hat. East way, learn the Harlem Shuffle. Freeway, driving straight ahead. Steinway, I'll call my band to play. I've been waiting for a reason, anything to leave this town. I don't have my roots buried in the ground, no need to stick around. Where are you going, babe? This I must know, 'cause I'm gonna pack my things and go along. If it's south way, I'll bring my whiskey. North way, wear a heavy coat. West way, I'll bring my cowboy hat. Oh yeah. East way, learn the Harlem shuffle, freeway driving straight ahead. Steinway, I'll call my band to play. After hours of thought, I changed my mind. I'm happy where I stand. Pack my bags and there's no room for a Steinway or a band. One thing I must know, darling, which way will you go? 'Cause I've got advice for you to take along. If it's south way, bring your whiskey. North way, wear a heavy coat. West way, bring your cowboy hat. Yeah! East way, learn the Harlem Shuffle. Freeway driving straight ahead. Steinway, call AJ to play. Here we go.
That was so awesome. I don't know if you could see, I was like dancing through the whole thing. But you know the thing that I love about your voice is you have a happy voice. Not all singers have happy singing voices. So it's bright, it's very high vibration. I love it. So kudos to you.
Aw.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just a happy. I can just tell you are.
I think it's sort of, it's part of my philosophy. I mean, maybe it just leaks into my chops, so to speak. But I really believe that these gifts that we have with music and with art and dance and, are all meant to be, we're meant to be the messengers. It's not because we're just so amazingly great. And I really consider it a responsibility to give this joy, be the messenger for joy for the rest of the world. And so when I'm in a space of music, you talk about raising a vibration. I think it raises the vibration of the planet when we're in music. And so I take that very seriously. And, you never see me on stage having a bad night. I mean, I could be miserable, but once I'm in that music stage, it's my responsibility to give that gift. It's so precious and it's so needed and important,
And for my listeners who are sitting there going, oh, she told her to say that because that's the stuff that she says. I swear I had no idea that she was going to say that. I had no idea how like-minded and love-hearted she was. I swear this was a complete surprise, and I'm like super happy now because she just said it. She's absolutely 188% correct. And I'm so glad that we got to meet because, it's amazing. I feel the exact same way. I have an addiction to joy. So that's funny that you talked about joy. I feel like I'm a channel of peace and an instrument of love. And that's that's my job to do that. And it's your job to do that as well. If you've just tuned in and wondering who I'm talking to today, who sounds just like me, it is Erin Dickins, and she is one of the original members of the Manhattan Transfer, a great group that really has stood the test of time as well and has brought forth great music. And now I get to meet and I even got a compliment from Erin Dickins, who has now also, you just heard one of my favorite numbers on her new CD called Vignettes, and it's a collaboration CD, and that was AJ, Jim Crochet's son, who was playing on Which Way Steinway. So I am just tickled. You know, it's funny, I'm sure you know of her as well, but Keiko Matsui was, yeah, she came on my show. I didn't know her either. And it's one of the best blessings of having this show is meeting people and then discovering, like, oh my gosh, I really like you. and
I'd be willing to bet that it's pretty rare, if it ever happens, that you meet somebody who's not in alignment. I think so many people in the arts are so on the same page.
Yeah, more so than in business, I have to say. Yeah, because they're tuning in to something else, definitely. But Keiko and I turn out, we have so much in common. So now we're like twin. She calls me her twin sister. So you're next on the docket.
Yeah, I might. Only thing is, I might get you in some trouble, you know?
Oh, good. That's all I need. Yeah, where are you calling in from? I didn't look at the notes. Where are you living?
Actually, I live two places. Actually, my husband and I have a home outside of Philly near Valley Forge.
Oh.
We have an old farmhouse, and I have a small home on the eastern shore of Maryland. It's on the Chesapeake Bay. It's near the Chesapeake Bay, and it's a beautiful, tiny little town. And I'm down there today.
Oh, cool! Cool. I actually spent 2 years in Philly, and I learned how to race sailboats on the Schuylkill River.
All right.
So
and you learned how to eat a cheesesteak.
I did on South Street, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's great. It's a great town.
It is. So what would you say to people who want to do music and, you know, it's too late, I missed that boat, I don't know how to sing, I don't know how to play. Any words to inspire people how to sort of get into that track? Because it's never too late.
I agree. It's never too late. There's so many layers to that. In terms of being a professional, I would never discourage anybody, even though the state of the music business is a disaster.
Now, why do you say that?
I don't know how people...
Let's talk about that for a second.
Okay, I don't want to dwell on it because there's the flip side of it too. But it's a disaster because nobody's getting paid. Okay. And there will come a point where nobody's going to make music if we're not careful. It'll be limited to kids who are willing to sleep in the back of the van and, record in their dad's basement. Mm-hmm. Because nobody is paying for it. Now, of course, the new industry model will emerge, and we'll all say, of course, that's what it's supposed to be. Great, beautiful, but we're not there yet. Mm-hmm. So I think that, for someone starting out, I think if they're young, don't worry about it. Sleep in the back of the van. Have a big time.
Right.
And just keep doing your art. Do your art, do your art, do your art. And do it because it's art. Don't do it because you hope you're going to get rich one day. Because it'll throw everything off forever.
Okay.
But when I'm a perfect example. I'm not 20, and I'm not willing to suffer. And when I go out and want to play a nice club in New York or in Philly, my band is not cheap. And so, even if I'm paid well by club standards, I lose money. So I have to think carefully about what and where and when, because, that is the state of the industry.
Right.
I mean, it's different when I'm playing with a big band on a big stage or doing a tour with somebody. That's a little bit different. But most people will find that you're not being paid well enough really to support a band. So you have to do whatever you need to do to protect your art and to love your art and keep it fresh.
Right.
You know, it's like protecting your health, protecting your art. You know, you try not to eat Whoppers, you know, and too many fries, and, right? And you also try not to put yourself into a situation where it's breaking your heart or where you're doing it for the wrong reasons. And as long as you can keep it pure and keep it in a space of love and keep it real, then it'll sort itself out. It'll find its own way. It'll land where it's meant to land in your life. And, you know, I tried to quit music. I thought I've had it. I'm tired of New York and the business. And so I thought the perfect thing to do would be to move to Honolulu because, you know, I can get away from it here. And, you know, then it turns out like Hawaii is one of the chakras of the planet, and everybody you meet there is either, you know, in trouble or, you know, in recovery, and the vibrations are all over the place. And, you know, I lasted about 6 months, and I went out to hear a nice jazz band, and that was it. I was stuck. Music was tap, 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 hello, we're not finished.
Right.
So, you know, if you listen and keep your heart open and don't try to fit it into somebody else's idea, then you make it whatever it's supposed to be for you.
And that's the upside. If I balance out how music has changed, the upside is you don't need to be discovered the traditional way. You can tape yourself doing your original music and get like views like crazy because there's an audience for anything. I mean, and that's the upside, right? Which makes your words about, you know, do your art. You know, don't try to copy and just listen to that internal, authentic voice.
That's right.
So,
and when you think about it, you know, when has there been a time where, you know, I've got fans who are teenagers and fans who are in wheelchairs, and kids are listening to Tony Bennett, and, you know, 80-year-olds are listening to Pink Martini. So it's wide open in that regard.
Yeah,
right?
My 18-year-old daughter loves listening to Tony Bennett and Sinatra. I'm like, really? It just warms my heart. I love it.
Yeah.
So good. And we are at a good time to break for the thank you of the sponsors for today's show. So as per usual, I'll be back in 2 and 2. Peace in and peace out.
So cold. I'm so hot. I'm so hungry. I'm so full.
Did that complaining sound familiar to you? Hi, I'm Dr. Marissa, your cheerleader for hope and happiness 88% of the time. And they also call me the Asian Oprah. Well, I have a perfect app for you if you want to lose negative weight and stop complaining. Yes, the 21-day Fast from Complaining with Dr. Marissa app is now available. Every day you'll get a balanced tip that keeps you from complaining, as well as some sound effects. If you do complain and you press a button, it will give you sound to keep you from complaining. And if you make it the entire day without complaining, you'll get a nice warm memory. And there's a YouTube link also to help you not complain. And then at the end of the 21 days, because it takes 21 days to create a good habit, you'll get an overall score as well as a way to post your triumph with your friends and family on Facebook. So don't complain, have fun, and remember it's all about balance. Peace in and peace out.
Peace in, peace out.
4, 3, 2, 1, and another child dies. Yes, every 4 seconds, someone dies from drinking contaminated water, and that's the bad news. The good news is that the Purity filtration system provides clean, fresh, and safe drinking water, and for every 2 water bottles sold, 1 is shipped to a child in need. Contact Heshy Siegel at kidsbetterworld.com for this win-win-win, life-giving answer to contaminated water. And welcome. You are tuned into my weekly talk radio show called Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa every Tuesday at Naturally High Noon here out of the Sunset Gower Studios in Hollywood, California with UBN Network, Universal Broadcasting, and every Thursday at 7 and Saturday at 1 on my syndicated CNBC NBC News Radio channel, KCAA AM 1050, FM 102.3, and FM 106.5. And we are here today with a name from the past, but still in the present because we're still enjoying her music, and that's Erin Dickins, one of the founding members of Manhattan Transfer. And she's here, and we heard one of her great songs from her newest CD. And welcome back, Erin, and tell me about this CD.
Oh boy, this is one of my great works of joy. I had so much fun recording this. I had an idea. We're here. I've had all this history and all these years in music with all these incredible musicians who are my good friends. And I couldn't decide who I wanted to work with, so I thought, well, I'll work with a whole bunch of them.
Oh.
So I call this CD Vignettes because each song is a vignette.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and each one is recorded, arranged with one special musician. And some of them played one instrument. My friend Bruce Hamada in Honolulu, who's the one who suckered me back into music when I wanted to quit.
Oh, he's the one that
played bass.
Was in that jazz group that you went to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he played solo bass on a Lambert Hendrickson Ross tune called Jackie, which is just great. And then some of the other players, I had John Lissauer, who is Leonard Cohen's producer and co-writer, do one of Leonard Cohen's songs with me called Came So Far for Beauty. And I toured with Leonard in the 70s, and so we were brokenhearted when we lost him, and we lost him right before we finished our mixes, so he never got to hear it.
Oh.
And
Well, he's
I
hearing it from
know,
the other
I
side.
know.
No, he's hearing
And
it from
then
the
you
other side.
remember Steely Dan, right?
Yeah, just a little.
Steely Dan's lead guitarist, Elliot Randall, is my friend from New York, and he did a track for me.
Fabulous.
And so each one is special and different, and it's eclectic, and it's the first time I produced myself, and I had nobody telling me what I couldn't do.
How was
So
that?
I did what I felt like.
That was
And boy, I had fun.
good. And Yoko Ono, is she also one on there? Or is
No,
that something
she's
else?
not on there, but I
okay.
worked with her years ago. I did, yeah, in the recording studio.
How was that?
She was cool. She was so far more zen than I was at the time.
Okay.
But, you know, you got to give it to her. She's an artist's artist because she will take it as far out as she wants, and everybody goes right along with her.
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
Not exactly my taste, but you have to
Right.
give her she gets the Great Balls of Fire award.
Right? I mean, and she just, she gets the juices flowing. She's not afraid.
Right.
There's no boundaries.
Right.
So
definitely.
it was totally freeform, the session. We were making it up as we were going along. I mean, I hear that's how Woody Allen works.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's probably a similar, right?
Style. Yeah. Not he's not my cup of tea either. But oh well, you are my cup of tea.
Oh, well.
You are my Java. how do people get a hold of your CD? To the regular way or?
It's in all the usual suspect places.
Okay.
It's on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
It's on iTunes. And it's on CD Baby, which a lot of people like to go to because it's a smaller retailer.
Okay.
And no matter where you get it, I hope that you'll visit my website because I have this beautiful digital booklet that has a picture of each of the 12 musicians or 10 musicians and a story about them and how I met them. And it's great. It's like the old days when you had vinyl and you would be reading along with each song.
Right.
Has the song lyrics and the whole thing. And if you go to my website, there's a link right on the homepage and you can click on it and download it for free. It's yours.
Oh, fabulous.
So no matter where right?
Yeah.
So no matter where you go to buy it, go to erindickins.com and get the free booklet.
Right. And I learned the hard way. It's Dickins, which is why I couldn't
That's
find you
right.
on
But if they
Instagram
mess
first.
it up, they'll still get there because I bought both.
Oh, you did?
websites.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
That was smart.
I mean, that's a common thing, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So erindickins.com.
Yep.
Yep. All right. So that's easy.
Yep.
Free download there. And I talked her into an Asian Oprah giveaway since I can do that. And so she has just lovely donated one of her MP3s to that new CD. So the first one to go to my website, drmarissa.tv, and sign up on the contact me side and put, let's put Manhattan Transfer as the code keyword, and then you will get that MP3, and then I'll let you know who the winner is, Erin. And
Great,
that'll
awesome.
be great. That would be great. Thank you very much for your generosity. I just love the and you get a DVD and you get tickets and I haven't got to a car yet. I have not gotten to the car. And the story behind that is I was actually introduced to Oprah as the Asian Oprah because Dr. Michael
that's
Bernard
funny.
Beckwith dubbed me that several years ago. And so that was kind of cool. And she actually looked at me, smiled, looked down at my pants and said, "Nice pants." And then it took everything in me to not say, "Do you want them? Do you want me to take them off now?" So
anything, I'll go anywhere. I'll do
yeah,
anything.
exactly. But it's really beautiful. Yeah. So, tell me about. Are you still? So the whole Manhattan Transfer went in two places. So you were the original. So, and there was one overlap, and I understand from reading that, is it Hauser? I'm sorry, I'm not great with
Tim
names.
Hauser.
He just transitioned not too long ago, huh?
Yeah, a couple years ago, and but he deserves all credit, really due to the great success of this band because it was his vision and his determination and his really sage choices in the musicians that he chose and the material that he chose. And, I'm sure the new group feels the same way. We all fought with him all the time. I don't want to do that. We don't want to. But he was so determined and he had such a vision. And so, we've all remained friends over the years. There have been, I think, 3-4 iterations. And there are no original members left now. Tim was the last.
Okay.
But we had an incredible experience a couple of years ago. We met at the Blue Note in New York. And so the current group, and all credit to them too. I mean, they took it to the moon. Really, I'm not going to take credit for that.
Right.
They're the ones who've been at it for 40 years. So, but we all got on stage together, the alumni and the current group, and
cool
sang
is that?
together a few songs in honor of Tim, and it was so incredibly emotional and I think healing for all of us to come together like that,
Absolutely. That's so cool. That's so cool. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you feel like doing my little holiday tune request now that I sing too? We could do something together. I sprung this on her right in the sound check. Let's do. I'm going to make you do it. Let's see. Have yourself a very Merry Christmas. How's that one? Yeah, everybody knows that one,
All right. So what are we going to do?
So we'll just
No.
yeah. Let's just you go first, and then I'll come in.
All right. So let me think of the key. So
Yeah.
have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide bright.
From now on, and then I forget the words.
Our troubles will be out of sight.
Have yourself a very Merry Christmas. Let the saints, oh boy. I should have thought this one.
Allow
You turn.
to catch a shining star upon the highest bough. And have yourself
a
merry
merry
little
little Christmas. Wasn't that bad? I messed up. I messed up, and I better get it together because next week I'm actually doing that on the air with another singer for my annual
I think
holiday
you ought to
sing-along.
You ought to do Santa baby.
How did you
slip a
know?
sable under a tree. For me. That's a much better one to do live. Got a little swing to it.
Yes, and your
Yeah.
voice is perfect for that. So
And
maybe we'll
hurry
have.
down the chimney tonight.
Yeah, awesome. And the last question I ask all my guests is not just when it's the season of joy, but what's your gratitude list? So what are you grateful for, or who are you grateful for that helped you be where you are?
Yeah, how much time you got?
We have 3 minutes.
Right?
Yeah.
I have to say, firstly, I am incredibly grateful for my family and my health. And the fact that my life is abundant beyond measure. And I don't mean that in terms of money. I just mean it in terms of all the gifts that I have. People who have helped me along the way, Tim Hauser certainly, and John Lissauer, and Leonard Cohen hugely, and my Hawaiian family, my mama-san out there who really taught me so much. And then there's my adorable husband, Tony, who yells at people if they talk at my concerts. He couldn't be any cuter. He tells them to shut up. She's singing now.
No, that's adorable.
And my Cocker Spaniels. I mean, my babies.
Aww.
So, my life is full, and, for the gift, my muse, my music. Oh, baby, what would I do without my music?
Yeah, that's beautiful. How did you meet your husband that yells at people?
He tried to go out with me for 5 years, and I wouldn't go out with him because he was a lawyer from Philly, and I thought, ugh. Isn't that funny? Especially from a girl who thought she wanted to be a lawyer. I thought, oh, he'll never get me. I should have a nice piano player. He is the most fabulous guy. I wouldn't go out with him for 5 years, and he kept saying, just try it.
That is so. How did he come to a show?
No, we met through friends.
Okay.
At a very beautiful home. We were invited for a luncheon and a woods walk on this beautiful old estate down in Maryland on the river. And he came down because the woman who owned it was friends with his mother. Okay. And they were in their 90s, and he came down to sort of, because for his mother. And he got it right away, and I was like, yeah, right, never mind.
That's so funny. That is so cute.
Is that funny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
He's a
adorable.
beautiful man, and, once I opened the doors, we were married within 4 months.
Wow, that's fast. But
That was 13 years ago.
Aw,
So,
great.
And I feel the same about him, I can't say as the day I met him, I feel much better than the day.
Yeah.
But as from the day that I decided I would give him a chance, I can't believe what a fool I am to have not given him more time,
Aw. Well, I'm sure you're making up for it now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, I've just had a delightful time with you, and I am super glad that Harlan hooked us up. Peace in, peace out to Harlan. And please go to erindickins.com, download the beautiful stories that go with her new CD, Vignettes. And if you see her, are you performing anywhere that we can promote as well in this next year?
I'm doing a bunch of stuff in January around my food business, and then some concerts in Hawaii at the end of January.
Nice.
And then back to Europe. So, nothing right now.
Okay.
So.
All right. But
hey, before you sign off, Marissa,
Yeah.
I do want to thank you. And what I want to thank you for, aside from giving me this lovely time and platform, is that it is so nice to see someone on the radio promoting positivity and good vibrations and raising the vibration of the world. We need it bad.
Oh.
So thank you.
Oh, I accept. Yes, yes. I'm just getting compliments all day, and I am receiving it, and I honor you for that. And it takes one to see one. So back at you. Keep doing what you're doing. Blessings to you,
Thank you.
especially in this season. Love to your
Yeah.
scolding husband, and peace in, peace out. And I wish you the very, very best.
Thank you so much, dear. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. All right, that was Erin Dickins, award-winning vocal artist, original founding member of Manhattan Transfer. I do love this job so much. And it's time for you to step up to my balance bar when I encourage you to balance out and increase your happiness 88% of the time with activities. And my number one balancing activity, of course, is my 21-day fast from complaining with Dr. Marissa. And we are on day 12. And the balance tip on how to remain complaint-free today is something that I borrow and paraphrased from His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And he says, if there's a problem and there's a solution, there's nothing to complain about. And if there's a problem and there's no solution, there's still nothing to complain about. So just remember that and just don't complain today. And that is your tip for today. If you haven't already gotten it, I have an app made by teenagers that supports this fast on both platforms, No Complaints and 21-Day Fast. So get that today. Great stocking stuffers for every single one of the people that you get to interact with during this holiday season, only 99 cents. And as usual, all the proceeds from any of my balance products that are on forbalance.org go to my peace work around the planet. And as you know, I got to speak in India earlier this year and got to go to a bunch of little kids. I forgot to give you that picture to plaster up, but go to my website and you'll see all of my peace work. And come balance with me in Sedona. Yes, my annual balance retreat in the beautiful, stunning vortexes of the magical Red Rocks of Sedona. It's the weekend after Mother's Day every year, so May 19th and 20th. If you register before Valentine's Day, you will get, I believe, $200 or $300 off. And it's a great weekend to come and learn. Still in moving meditation, so if that's on your resolution list this year, then be sure to sign up. $50 will reserve your healing mat for that event. And I am teaching Balanced Tai Chi Gong, my moving meditation that promotes inner peace, one breath at a time, this Saturday at 8:30 at Rosie's Dog Beach. So if you're anywhere near Long Beach, please do come and meet me there. I'm right by the water. You can't miss me, and I'll teach you some forms. Finally, if you'd like to work with me on the beach, in any beach near where you are, or the virtual beach over the phone. I have clients all over the world who want to up their happiness factor. Then please do sign up. Go to my website, 4balance.org, and get a slot, and we can do a little assessment on the phone to see if there's a fit that I can help you be happier this new year. And next week, it's my annual holiday sing-along, which obviously from that little stint, I'm going to need to practice. For next week, the powerhouse diva Majon Owens will be my guest sing-along partner this year. If you missed Charles Holt last year and Stacey Amon the year before, go to my YouTube and you can practice and rehearse so you can come sing along with me as well. So yes, I am a retired lounge lizard, as you already know, and I just love to sing, and I get to do it on the air because it's my show. So I want you to sing along with me next week. So keep it tuned to a show about hope and happiness on Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa Pay. That's P for positive, EI. And remember, it's all about balance. Peace in and peace out.
take away the part of me that wants to stay. It's all I want to hear my life and sing along. For without it, there's no laughter, no tears, lonely days after, no